And welcome back. It's time to get up close and personal. And like we told you, there's some people who have passion for something that's so deep, and the passion is just so strong, it just spreads to everyone else in the room. And Roeland Lelieveld is one of them. He's a social entrepreneur who's very passionate about the environment. And like we're talking about it, by the way, karibu sana, Roeland.
Asante.
Welcome. And a couple of years back, when you went to Kitui, did you think you'd be involved with the environment in Kenya this long? Did you have a feeling this would be it for you?
In the beginning, I didn't have, but during my internship in 2005, I got attached to Kenya and the people. So I really fell in love with the place. And I also thought we can do something here. And luckily, I was with a very good friend, Daniel Mufali, and together we had the same idea. So we just put everything together. I went back to the Netherlands, worked, saved some money, and we started a business in 2010 named Africa Woodgrow to reforest Kitui or Lower Yatta region commercially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you first got first-hand experience of this as an intern in Kitui.
Yeah.
For most people, when they encounter a problem that's at that scale, you'll usually feel that you're powerless. You're just one individual. The problem is so big. And you're like, okay, fine, the government should deal with this. Other international organizations should come and do something about this. Clearly, I'm just one man. I'll plant one tree, hope it grows, and move on to do something else. Why didn't you think about that, to go down that route?
I think that route has been practiced many times, and there's not much happening, from my opinion. So I just thought we have to do it. And yeah, I hope many more people will just start planting trees, do everything they can, make more vegetation cover, stop soil erosion, stop desertification, and stop climate change.
So even after your internship, you first went back to the Netherlands,
Yeah.
Got your capital together, got the structures together, then came back to Kenya.
Yeah.
When you went back home, and you told them about the idea, because I'm sure you shared the idea with a couple of people.
Yeah,
what was the
people thought
reaction?
I was crazy. Just a young guy, 19 years old, having dreams. They thought, no, this is
You've lost it. You've gone mad.
Yeah.
And how?
But there were some people who just supported me, and quite many also.
Who also supported you as well.
Yeah.
And at that point, did you doubt yourself? Did you think that probably you're making the wrong move? You might as well just stay in the Netherlands, build your business from there, and just have a proper job?
No, I also did that. I'm still working in the Netherlands. So I'm using my leave from my job in the Netherlands to go to Kenya to see how everything's going. And also my work in the Netherlands is one of the drivers to keep on investing into this reforestation company.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm doing both things.
Okay, and even as a social entrepreneur, because it's a very big issue with the fact that very many people don't come to terms and don't grasp how you can actually make money, but also do good at the same time. How does that work as a social entrepreneur?
The making money part has not yet...
You haven't gotten to that point?
No, not yet. Planting trees is a long-term investment. But if you have a piece of land that's almost desert, very dry, with less than 300 millimeters rainfall a year, and you upgrade it to something profitable, it cannot be that it doesn't make any profit. It can't. So at some point you benefit from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're pitching Africa Woodgrow to investors, or you want public to buy into it, what's the pitch? When somebody asks you, okay, why do you go to Kenya every single time you're on leave? What are you going there to do? What is Africa Woodgrow?
Yeah, Africa Woodgrow is a reforestation company that turns arid land into profitable green land with room for biodiversity. So it's like ecosystem restoration in a commercial way.
Okay,
and many subjects benefit. We create employment, room for biodiversity, what I mentioned, water catchment, food production in dry areas. What else? Bringing new knowledge, ideas. Yeah.
Okay. And even as you do that, for someone who probably has, you know, quite a big piece of land, it's very arid. How does it work? Is it a partnership with the owners of the land? Do you buy the land? Do you
we
manage
bought
it?
It's a private land under the Africa Wood Co Limited, based in Kenya.
So are you doing it across the country, only in Kitui?
We focus on Lower Yatta, and we focus on an area of 600 square kilometers. And we have the limited company, and I have started an NGO in the Netherlands, and the NGO is working with individual farmers in the same region. So the individual farmers started the Kamiti CBO. Kamiti is 4 trees, not the prison. So from the local farmers, they formed a group, and they are now copying the idea. So we supply them with chain link to protect a piece of land from goats. The people are used to keep goats to graze, and tree planting and keeping goats do not go together.
True.
So we have to fence and then plant trees during the rainy season and make it grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in those particular areas, some places like Kitui and other places, in fact, because of all that's happening with climate change, the rain isn't coming as planned, as forecasted.
Yeah,
you know, you wait for short
bad.
rains in March, it only rains for 2 days, and that's it.
Yeah.
So what happens to the trees that are planted in those areas?
Yeah, like last November, every farmer received through the Forest Market Foundation 150 trees. And around like 50% survived from November rain. So that's not good. But we will replant in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and because it's an issue very many people are trying to grapple with, because even when you replant in April, we still don't know. The rain patterns have totally been switched. So for someone who probably also wants to get into, you know, replanting trees at a smaller scale, how do you plan that? And do you have to plant more trees and hope that half of them survive?
The best thing to do is to be ready. And when it starts raining, you have your planting holes, you have your fence, you have your seedlings ready in the nursery somewhere close. And plant them immediately when it starts raining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and as you said, as of now, Africa Wood Grow isn't making money yet.
Yeah.
It's doing good, but not making money. But for the entrepreneurial side of it, where does the money come from, and how or when do you start making it?
We expect from now till maybe the coming 4 years, we expect to have some returns by selling timber on the local market. It's Mokau, you know, Melia Fokensi, hardwood. So we expect to make some profit, but it will be invested into the same project again to scale it up.
Okay, okay. And also when it comes to the fact that you probably had an easier route to do this because you had connections from the Netherlands, you could go and solidify your capital base there and then reinvest it here.
Yeah.
For somebody who probably is as passionate as you, but doesn't have the connections, but wants to do something because they can see climate change is real, what would you advise somebody to do? Where do they start?
It starts with the partnership between Daniel Mufali and me, because without Daniel, I cannot do anything. He knows the place, he knows the people, he knows the area. The connection between us two and the trust in each other is the key thing. From there, I'm using my things in the Netherlands and my everything I can reach there, and he's using everything he can reach here, and together we make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's very interesting because from that partnership, Africa Wood Grow was born, and it started the journey. But for you, when you look like 5-10 years from now, what's the bigger plan for Africa Wood Grow? Where do you see it growing to be?
So we have 3 farms, 3 different farms on different locations, and those farms are influencing the farmers around who get support from the foundation in the Netherlands. So everybody can support the Kamiti CBO to also help them. Yeah. just want to make some more stepping stones in this way to reach a bigger area, and I think we can the focus is on 600 square kilometers. That's Lower Yatta region, and the time frame is till 2030. I think from that, it's a very big area. So from now to 2013, we can, if everything goes well, we can manage it to bring back vegetation cover in this area.
Okay.
I think that's realistic.
Oh, okay. And I'm sure by 2030, of course, from that point, you realign and look at what you've managed to do. If you've done that, then you go for another piece of land and do the same thing there as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, then I'm 62, so maybe still enough energy to do such a thing.
You'll still be young at heart. That's what's important.
Yeah. So from there, we are trying to come up with a cooperative between all the farmers to create a forestry-based economy. I think it's more resilient than the seasonal farming or monoculture farming in those dry areas. Because when the rain comes, the fertile soil flushes to the river, and also the water goes very fast to the river. And you see also the rivers has been becoming bigger, the seasonal rivers wider.
So they're encroaching more and more land.
Yeah, because of the water goes so fast towards the river. Before, like 30 years ago, there was a lot of green cover, and the water was more going into the soil instead of going to the river directly. So you had small streams. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And even at this point, as much as you're doing good for the community, was there any resistance from the community front when you came and you had all these plans?
Yeah, there are some resistant things. Like one thing on resistance was that we are hosting wildlife. We create a semi-natural environment, so you attract birds and small mammals. They start living there, and your neighbors can complain like, oh, your birds are eating my maize or eating my green grams or those things. So those are the complaints.
And how do you deal with that? Because at the same time you need the community buy-in.
Yeah, we just
in order for the project to work.
We just talk and say these trees, they contain moisture, they cool down the area, so you also benefit. We improve the improve the land, so the land prices go up, so you also benefit. So please, let's just continue and be friends.
So you need to really know how to deal with the community in such instances.
But mostly Daniel's doing those issues.
Oh, because he's on the ground and he knows the issues from that front. Okay, and for you, what are some of the challenges you faced on the other side? Because he's dealing with Kenya, you're in the Netherlands. What are the challenges there?
The challenges for me is that I have little free time. I'm using my leave to go to Kenya. I have my colleagues at home to work with. They can complain like, oh, you're going again to Kenya, do you even work here? And we need to do all your work. Those kind of complaints. And from friends and family that you don't see them so much.
Because you're always on a flight back when you have free time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or in the evening, I'm working on doing marketing, doing...
Okay. And when you're not dealing with the NGO on that side and making sure that at least funds are, ready for you to come down and make sure that they're being properly used as well, what are you doing? What are you doing with your colleagues on the other side? What are you doing in the Netherlands?
I work for the City Council of The Hague on the engineering part. So that's city planning, urban forestry. I plant trees in The Hague. You know The Hague from the
the whole country knows The Hague.
ICC.
Yes, the whole country.
That's
that
where
word
I
in
work.
itself. That's where you work.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's interesting you talked about that, and you've spoken about the fact that also planning is something very essential. Where do you think at times other county governments or other county councils get it wrong when it comes to planning? Because you look around and you see that some cities, as they grow, the less forestation they have. It becomes a concrete jungle, so to speak. What are the problems there, and how do you remedy something like that?
Yeah, you see a lot of heatness inside city centers, and you also when you plant trees, you feel it's cooler. It really takes it cools down the place.
So those are some of the things that are the benefits. But for in terms of planning, because the issue is when it comes to planning, there's a big problem with the fact that most cities don't usually look 5, 10, probably 20 years ahead in order to make sure that there are enough trees that even if we have all these buildings, we'll still have a cool environment. How do you deal with that, like back home?
Oh, there we have the policy makers. They plan ahead, and the politics, they just follow the policy in a kind of way. So, and green environment is a hot topic in the Netherlands and The Hague. So many citizens of The Hague want to have more green, more parks. So we're now turning city squares and streets into more greener areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's just bring it back home for a second, because even with all the challenges that you face, even as we wind up this interview, of course, there's some people who actually look at what you do and recognize you for that, and this is one of those awards.
Yeah, last year we received this from Margaret Kenyatta. We're very happy with it. It's second runners-up, best large-scale commercial tree farmers in tree growing and forest conservation award. Yeah, we were very happy with it, this award.
Yes, and I mean, there's the fact that someone is noticing the hard work that you're putting in. I'm sure at the bottom, it just makes you feel like you can wake up and do it again, because it's not all lost. People can see the value you're adding to the land, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and from here, I'm sure the big question is, what next for Roeland? What next for Africa Wood Grow moving forward?
The next thing is that we have to integrate investors, but it's a bit scary, because you're putting all your own things and you don't want to let investors down. So we want to have all the figures clear. So we come with a clear picture from investors to what to expect. And that takes some time. We are now almost in the 8th year from 2010 to we started in August 2010, so it's 7.5 years, roughly. So we are collecting a lot of data. What goes wrong? What goes right? What are the costs? What is? We put it in a spreadsheet and see how we can get to investors, and then come up with a plan how to invest it without disrupting the environment. And the local farmers. Because we don't want them to lose anything from this investment. And it's also not the case to just buy everything and then push people away. We just want to integrate it into the community.
Now that it's 7 years old, 7.5 years old, going on 8, is it easier to sell to investors? Do investors now buy the idea easier?
Yeah, of course, because they see a track record. We can easily show what we have done, what we have achieved. Everything is recorded on movie, on YouTube. We have photos, everything is recorded. So we can easily show what we have achieved.
Okay, and if I'm a Kenyan, I love what Africa Wood Grow is doing. Probably I'm watching from Kitui. I want to be part of this, or from Miata. How do I get in touch with you, or how do I get in touch with Africa Wood Grow? How do I become part of this initiative?
We have a website. It's www.africawoodgrow.com, and you can always send an email to info@africawoodgrow.com.
And from there they can
maybe follow on Twitter, this @africawoodgrow.com, or Facebook.
Okay, and because one key thing is the fact that, yes, they can get in touch with you there, but also a very large untapped resource is the youth, the young people. Is Africa Wood Grow doing anything to tap that particular resource?
Yeah, we employ people, but we do not yet employ the people who are educated, who are looking for jobs too. We are too small for that. So we need to grow to create those kind of jobs.
Okay, so once you get to that level, you can actually get now even better skilled labor as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about you, Roeland? Because right now you have to juggle between the two. At one point, you're working for the City Council at The Hague, and then on leave, you're here. When are you relocating to Kenya to make this a full-time thing? Is that on the cards? Is that a plan?
I don't think it's needed. I think it can run perfectly this way. And also it gives more strength if I just do my things there and keep it the connection that way, that I use the resources there and the network and connect it this way to Kenya and let Daniel Mufali
run the show on this side.
Yes.
Okay, okay. And for you, when you sit back and like you said, at 2030 you'll be 62. When you think about it, how do you want this story to end as far as Africa Would Grow is concerned? What do you feel would be the success for you?
The success will be fully running forestry-based economy in Lower Yatta. Yeah.
That's the big plan. So when you sit down, at the end of it all, that's what you want to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Roeland, for coming through. I love the fact that at least they have noted your good work, and wishing you all the best as you move forward with that.
Asante.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
Of course, so if you want to be part of that, you've known that you can go and get all the information. So even as you move forward, don't go and think that you're only one person and can't make a change. Start from where you are with what you have and move forward and make it happen. That, of course, has been up close and personal with Roeland Lelieveld right here. Don't go too far. We'll be back shortly.